Welcome to Fourth and Pain, the only pro wrestling show to be hosted by an NFL player and a weight loss champion. He is Redskins defensive end Adam Carriker.
Howdy.
I am the weight loss champion Chuck Carroll, and joining us on the hotline, time to preview Redskins Giants from the Freelance Star. We have Zac Boyer. Zac, how are you, sir?
Good, gentlemen. How you doing?
Doing pretty good.
Doing marvelous.
And Adam, right off the bat, I feel the need to tell you and publicly state that Zac is one of the good guys out there. I know that good guy journalists may be few and far between, but I guarantee you I will personally vouch for this guy.
I have talked to him a couple of times. He's always seemed like a decent gent.
Now, Zac,
approval means a lot.
I should warn you, though, I did share with Adam here the picture of you wearing the WWE title belt in the Redskins media room.
I did see that.
Featherweight championship belt, isn't it?
What do you think of that belt? It's pretty legit, right? It's the real deal.
I mean, that's not the meanest stare, but I need to work on my facial expressions, I think. But once I get that down, I think I'll be gunning for the 130-pounders in the world.
Well, here's what you can do. Go to my Twitter page, at Adam Carriker 94, shameless plug, and go to the very first picture on my Twitter page, and I have a great facial expression that you can imitate.
Oh, good Lord.
That is if you didn't see the picture already.
I'll stand here in the mirror for hours, and I'll brush up for next time he comes strolling through the locker room.
Sweet. That's exactly what I did.
Zac, before we start previewing the game, man, did you guys in the media room get a chance to see Adam on TMZ this past week?
I had heard a lot about it. I have not seen it. I think my eyes probably thank me significantly for that. But I heard there was a sight to behold. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, the word you're looking for is man panties. Actually, that's two words, but man panties.
I was going to say blindingly beautiful.
Right?
I was going to say blindingly beautiful.
Yeah, blinded for sure. All right, Zac. Well, let's talk a little bit about pigskin here. Redskins, big win last week against Minnesota. Of course, RG3. Some people are already calling this a historic run. My question, though, to be perfectly punny about it, is will this run carry over this week in New York?
Well, I mean, you got to look at it two ways. One, he scrambled on a play where even he admitted afterward he should have gotten out of bounds. He knew people were calling for him to get out of bounds. The guys on the sidelines were yelling at him to get out of bounds. So would it happen again? I mean, yeah, it's not likely that he's going to have a 76-yard run in his career again. You look at the numbers; it was the longest run since Cordell Stewart 15 years ago, I think, off the top of my head. But it's going to define him. Those are things he can do. He can break tackles. He can get away from guys. He's got the speed. He was a Big 12 champion in the hurdles his freshman year at Baylor. So it's certainly something he can do again. Will it define him? I'm not sure. I mean, there's a lot of things that he can do, certainly, that will give the Giants fits. The Giants will have the advantage of seeing him twice. He has the advantage of not yet seeing the Giants. The stuff they've put on film will be very different, has caught these guys off guard for weeks. The Falcons prepared for triple option and they didn't see it. You have to imagine the Vikings prepared a little less for it because they didn't see it against the Falcons, and here it came again. So there's a lot of things that he can do. There's a lot of things that the Giants are going to learn on Sunday. But they'll play him twice. They'll play him twice for every year. He's under contract theoretically for 5 years. So they could be playing him 9 more times after this weekend. It's a lot of time to learn about what a guy can do, and a lot of times, I guess, on the Redskins end for them to learn how the Giants will play them.
Adam, here's a question for you. I mean, you're the player, so this is good perspective that you're about to bestow. Get ready. Put on your thinking hat. Seriously, how different is it as a player to be playing a non-division, non-conference game versus then going up against somebody that is in your division, a New York Giants club, Philadelphia Eagles, or Dallas Cowboys?
I mean, I try not to approach it any different. You know it's a little bit more important because down the road, the tiebreakers, so on and so forth, they're the teams you're competing with trying to win the division, so you know it's more important. But I try to approach each week the exact same. But at the end of the day, I mean, to me, honestly, this game is going to be about – because I believe in this team. I believe this team, I know what they can do. I was with them all offseason, all camp, and I saw the potential we have. And this is the defending champs. This is a team that just beat the 49ers. Everyone thinks they're the best team in the NFL. At least they did before that game happened. And it's going to be an opportunity for the Redskins to show what they can do.
Now, Zac, question for you, my friend. Alfred Morris was shut down a little bit this past weekend by the Vikings, perhaps because they were better prepared for him, thinking that RG3 may or may not be slowed by the concussion suffered against the Falcons. Do you expect his numbers will rise a little bit this weekend against the Giants?
Well, I think what you got to look at, you got to take this from Alfred's perspective. He is a rookie running back who had 47 yards in his sixth game, which is a career low. And that sounds kind of silly if you have 47 yards as a career low. There are some backs in the league who would kill to be able to put up 47 yards each week. Certainly not a glorious number. He's been reaching hundreds. The marquee backs in the league will reach 70, 80, 90 yards a game. But when you look at it from his perspective, here's a team that came in trying to stop the run, trying to plan for him, and they held him to about 3 yards a carry. What he's got to do from this point on, and he knows this, and I talked to him the other day about it, he's going to learn from that, which any rookie will do, and knowing that teams are now going to try to stop him. And he's got to learn what they're going to do. He's got to try to adapt his game to counter that. He gained so many yards in the first 6 games of his career because he was an unknown. And like any player will tell you, once you put stuff on film, once you become less of a commodity, once it's not a unique thing anymore, they're going to be able to figure him out. And what he's now got to do is just try to overcome that. Will he have 47 yards again? Yeah, it's entirely possible. Will he have 100 yards again? Yeah, it's also entirely possible. But he understands what his responsibilities are. He understands that teams are now going to come for him. He understands that it's not going to be as easy as it was. I think he lost a couple of yards. He had more negative running plays against the Vikings than he had in any other game during the season, and that'll happen to him. But it's how he'll learn from it, and I don't have any doubt that kid is smart enough and understanding enough to be able to overcome what defense is going to throw at him.
We're speaking with Zac Boyer from the Freelance Star on 4th and Payne. And on the other side of the ball, the New York Giants have a heck of a running back, plenty on tape from Ahmad Bradshaw. What can the Redskins do, Adam, to try to shut down this guy? What are some of the things that you guys tried to do last year?
I mean, honestly, they played well against the run all year so far. Just keep doing what they've been doing. You don't have to change anything drastically. Our rules don't change as a defensive line. We're going to see different schemes. You're going to face different players, but your rules are pretty much the same. We'll have different blitzes. You have to adjust those based on who you're playing. But as long as they just keep doing what they've been doing, I mean, they just played the Vikings. They got a pretty good running back, and they did pretty well against him. I mean, just keep doing what they've been doing, really.
Zach, what do you think are going to be some of the keys to slowing down the Giants' offense, which to this point has been pretty good?
Well, I think when you look at what the Giants offer, they offer elite players in a lot of positions. You mentioned Bradshaw. He's averaging something like 5 yards a carry already this year. I'm surprised he's able to do it without having Jacobs there to balance him out. But Brown and I guess in a limited role, the kid from Virginia, Tackle Wilson's kind of holding his own. I think when you look at the passing game, obviously they've got Eli Manning. When you look at what he's done throughout his career in the fourth quarter, the comebacks he led, they've got to be in a position where if they are ahead, to be able to not let them back in the game. Seen a couple times already this year where the fourth quarter has gotten a little bit dicey, and it's gotten dicey against the likes of Christian Ponder and against the likes of Matt Ryan and Josh Freeman. And one of those three guys is a exceptional quarterback. Eli Manning is a class of his own, and he will be able to pick the secondary apart if he is in a position in the fourth quarter because it's something he can do. I think should the Redskins get a lead, I think they've got to figure out how to close the game. This would be a very, very good time in the season for them to learn. You always got to look out for Victor Cruz, one of the most statistically highest ranked receivers in the league right now. Martellus Bennett is definitely showing some things as a tight end, kind of getting his shot coming over that year from the Cowboys. And they've got Ramsey Barden, they've got Hakeem Nicks, they've got some guys that can throw the ball to. They're going to get the yards. And as D'Angelo Hall said several times in the past 2 weeks, they get 500, 600 yards on the Redskins defense. It doesn't matter. D-Hall doesn't care what the numbers are as long as there's a victory in the end. And I think if they can kind of keep that in mind and be able to stamp down maybe any potential fourth quarter rally or at least be able to hold in close there in the end, it shouldn't be as difficult a task as it may appear to be on paper.
Zach, last question for you here. How much concern is there given the Giants' performance last week on the road at San Francisco against a 49er team, which heading into that game had outscored their opponents, I believe, 79-3 in the previous 2 games? How much concern is there, or should there be, on Washington's part?
Well, it's the National Football League, and what it comes down to is there's going to be concerns on every team's behalf about every team every week. And I know it sounds a lot like coach speak, but you look at some of the results. You look at the Redskins getting popped by Cincinnati 3 weeks ago now, and then turning around in Cincinnati getting steamrolled by the Browns this week, who hadn't won a game. I think a lot of things can happen. I think a lot of circumstances lead to a lot of things. But what the Redskins are going to have to be aware of is, again, like we talked about, they're going to play the Giants twice. This game will mean a little bit more because the winner of the game at least has a share of first place in the division, which is a pretty good mark to hold through 7 weeks of the season. The Giants certainly showed some things by going out to San Francisco and teaching a very strong team, a very decent offense with Alex Smith controlling the ball and forcing them to throw some of the interceptions. They showed them some things out there. What the Redskins are going to have to do is just make sure that they're able to focus, that they're not going to make the mistakes that they've made in the past couple weeks. That they stay on the turnovers. Turnover margins are huge at this point. That Griffin can continue to do some things, both running and passing. Concussion aside, I think he was a pretty good runner, and touchdown aside, I guess the numbers are a little bit inflated that way. But I don't think that game necessarily means a whole lot in the grand scheme of things. Maybe a game or two keeps a team out of the playoffs or whatever. But I think that's a good Giants team. I think that's a good Giants team that went to San Francisco to beat a good San Francisco team. And that's what good teams do, and that's what the Redskins are going to have to do if they hope to be walking out of MetLife Stadium as a team tie for first place.
All right, Zach. And final question is actually yours. If there's anything you want to ask Adam, this is your chance for an exclusive, my friend.
Yeah, Adam, I'll ask that you probably not get yourself in any kind of awkward betting situation like last week, because if we're going to be seeing a whole lot more of tight panties or whatever you gave on earlier, I think the world might be better off without that. So that is the question I ask. Please do yourself a favor and try to lower the stakes maybe next time you want to go doing the horn a little bit.
Well, see, here's the thing. I'm so confident in my guys, and they almost did win the game anyways against the Falcons. Yeah, I'm so confident. I expected them to win. I expect them to win every game. And it was my idea to make the bet, honestly. This is what happens when I don't get to play football. I got to occupy myself somehow. So I have to make things interesting. And I got, we're doing the show. We're having fun with this. I'm trying to support my team. I'm doing the rehab. So I just, I need football back in my life. So I'm just biding my time until next year until I get to play, I guess.
Zach,
hey, just let Goldberg know that if there's a stakes on the line, then for the NFC Championship, he's got to hold up his end of the bargain too a little bit. I mean, what did he have to do? Just wear Redskins gear? I don't think that's really. I think you got to make sure that he's held to a little higher standard than that too.
Well, it was a little lopsided bet, but the guy wore man panties for a career. I mean, what can I do to a guy who does that?
That's true.
What am I going to bring?
Yeah. You can't put the man in full drag. Zac Boyer, thank you so very much for your time. You're on the Twitterverse, aren't you?
I am. It's at Zac Boyer, ZAC. Don't get the K or the H in there.
Zac Boyer on Twitter. Give him a follow. Again, one of the good guys in the business. Very much appreciate your time, my friend.
Thank you for coming on.
Gentlemen, have a great night.
You too. This is Fourth and Pain. We'll be right back.